Now, one of the best covers, I think it's more I would say that this cover is almost more recognizable than the original version that the Beatles wrote. But I would say Joe Cocker and With a Little Help from My Friends.
Never have them help with my friends.
His version is just so different from the Ringo Starr, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, With a Little Help from My Friends. His arrangement of it is actually really, really interesting, truthfully. I'm not a huge, I mean, Joe Cocker is known to do covers most of his career, this one being his most successful version of the song. But given that being said, the With Little Help from My Friends cover, it's funny. Billy Joel himself has, and so many other artists have covered the Joe Cocker version compared to seeing or hearing the Beatles version. Like, I believe when I'm saying I haven't seen Ringo Starr live. I know Bill has. Damn it.
I have.
Yes, just shame on my part.
And he hates me for that.
I do. That's the one of the only shows where I'm like, man, plus he was coming locally recently, and I was like, man, why couldn't I get this? The one day he was coming very close, and I was like, I got something else planned that day, and I was like, I should have seen him because he canceled the tour later, but whatever. But With a Little Help from My Friends, Ringo Starr actually performs the version that you hear on the record live, to my understanding, if I'm not mistaken. Ringo Starr will perform that song the way he recorded it with the Beatles, whereas someone like a Joe Cocker, and a lot of people cover Joe Cocker's version of With a Little Help from My Friends. Again, off the Sgt. Pepper album, great album. If you have never heard it, get on it. It's a fantastic
Get on it. Get on it.
Dun, dun, dun,
dun, dun.
Anyways, but yeah, as I said, Joe Cocker's version of With a Little Help from My Friends is almost more, I would make the argument that it's a better, more recognizable version of the song than the original one. I mean, what's your take on that, Bill?
I don't know. I think the original version is still very noticeable.
I agree with you on that. I'm just saying, though, as far as like, I think in the late 60s into the 70s, going into like the latter decades of popular music, for some reason, like a lot like Billy Joel, is a recognizable one. He'll cover that version of that song a lot. Actually, I found out he covered it actually at Wembley Stadium in London, believe it or not. But yeah, I mean, both versions are great though. Don't get me wrong. I know you're a big Beatles guy, so I gotta throw you some love there.
Gotta throw me a little love there, my friend.
Yes, I gotta give you a little help from my friends. Don't worry.
You get a little help from me, and I get a little help from you.
Yes, that's how it works here. But yeah, so Joe Cocker, With a Little Help from My Friends, fantastic version of that song.